Not even 7 AM, and that's the end of my stay in Tayvalich. I can just see that disappearing now around the headland here, and I'm going to head down towards down Loch Sween now towards the entrance. I'll show you. This is the way down the loch, and I've got the main engine. There's a bit of a breeze. There's supposed to be an northerly breeze, so I might just get a good sail. I don't know. You can never tell with these light conditions. I had a problem. The fuel stopped feeding the engine. There was a problem with the pipe on the temporary fuel tank, and I stopped, and there was no breeze at the time. It was only before 8 o'clock, and I tried to sail into those moorings at Castle Sween. But what I did was towed with a little dinghy. I towed the boat for a while, and then the breeze picked up, and I picked up the mooring at the third attempt. I've been working on the engine for about 3/4 an hour, and now she's sailing. I've got the engine still running, but there was little bits of plastic in the pipe, in the fuel pipe. It's an old pipe that had been used, and the little flakes of plastic by the looks of it. But she's sailing now, okay, and I'm heading down towards Gear. I'm just sailing down towards the entrance to Loch Sween here, and then it'll be turning to port and south down towards Gear. Yeah, sailing along, I don't know, 3.5 knots or something like that, I don't know. I'm not exactly breaking any speed records, and a scare view there, that's the beacon on the rock on the way across to Jura, and clouds over the paps, and Craighouse's little white, you can see the white buildings in the far over there. And this is Gear. This is I don't know, it's probably about 12 miles or something there. I lost a bit of time, but I should make it with the tide, I hope, anyway. So Gear next stop. I'm just entering Cemaes Bay in Gear, and there's moorings, visitor moorings ahead here. This is 6 AM, and I'm leaving Gear now. Not sure where the destination is today. It's supposed to be northerly winds, but there's no real breeze at the moment. It could be 3 to 5 and even 6 later on, I don't know, but it's, you wouldn't think so at the moment. I'm out from behind Gear now, and there's a norwesterly breeze here blowing me along quite nicely. And let's see how far south I can get today. I don't know where it might be. It might be Larne or something like that, I don't know. It's hard to work it out what's the best thing to do. It's quite flexible really, doesn't matter as long as I'm making progress south. And it's good so far. The little autopilot's working alright here. I'm happy with that. It's not even 10 o'clock, and this is the tip of Loch here, and heading over towards Northern Ireland now. And here we are, you can see that quite plainly now. And pretty well. I have to take the Scottish flag down soon, I think. Just past the Maidens, and I think the tide's starting to go now. might have it against me a bit. There's a Larne entrance there, and I'm going to go past. I'm going to try for whiteheads in Belfast Loch, and that's to go around this, and there's a rock there, there's a beacon I've got to go around that. It's called Hunter Rock. I've been sailing against the tide from Larne around the corner here to Belfast Loch, and I'm still doing a good speed. I've had some pretty good waves rear up behind me. The race near the island over there, and this is Blackhead over here and the entrance to the loch. Should be hoping to get some kind of a shelter around Whitehead. Let's see, hope for the best. I don't want to go into a marina. Well, I've anchored up off Whitehead, and it's not so bad. It's a bit rolly. I've been in worse places, and I haven't looked in the mirror. I'm probably looking at a real sight. And the only problem I had was pin on the shackle on the main sheet. I'll show. The one that goes on onto the traveller here, and there's a pin that's come out. There's a pin that's come out. And where's this thing going? I've just got to find out. I'm just going to try to straighten it. It was almost straightened out. I managed to bend it back, but I've got to twist it now so it'll go back in this slot here. That's the only thing. A couple of accidental jibes, and the wind did really pick up. You can't see now, but it does gust up a bit, and it was against the tide, and you could, that was it. Just went over it 2 or 3 times. Head sail's better when you're going downwind, I think. Tomorrow, if it's the same, I'll have a head sail up. Well, I'm closing in on Glass, and it's about 2 or 3 miles, I think. And I've just passed Strangford Loch, and the little bays I was thinking of going into, the winds have become more variable now, so it actually would be blowing in there. And besides, I've run out of water, so that's the main thing really, the water in the tank. I have separate drinking water, but the tank water is quite important too. And it'd be nice to get some bread and stuff from the shop as well. Here she is, moored up in our glass marina. Well, I'm out of our glass this morning at 7, and there is a breeze, not what was on the forecast. There's a breeze from the south. I'm heading over to Anglesey. It's a 60-mile bay, and it's a long way to go motoring, but there's not much wind. I am kind of motor sailing, but you see, it's just too light to actually sail. I just hope I can get some proper sailing on the way. There's a temporary tank on the boat, and it's only 10 litre, and I have to stop somewhere and put more fuel in and stop along the way. It's not ideal. I'm going to put a new tank when I get back. We are sailing, and it's over at 4 knots, 4 to 4.5 knots. Let's see how it goes. I don't know. It's not expected this direction. It's like southwest more or less. The boat's sailing now over 5 knots, and I'm very pleased. The wind is totally different to what they said. This is what it's like in the cabin, nice and peaceful, and the boat sailing along back home. Glass has just past the fold in the chart there, tip of Isle of Man, and this is kind of a southeasterly course all the way down to Anglesey. And this little bay there, Cemaes, is the place, my destination, and there's a good anchorage there either side depending which way the wind is. So that's the plan. Is 60 miles and past 2 folds in the chart. The helmsman's thrown in the towel there by the looks of it. He's left his tea behind even. Now here he is. Everything seems to converge out at sea. There's nothing else all around the horizon, and we've got a ship coming up over there, and this fishing boat here now, which is just crossing in front of it, and I think they got near out there. I wish I were a fisherman tumbling on the sea, far away from dry land with its bitter memories. That reminds me of the song. Yeah, all of a sudden it got busy. Well, it's past 8 in the evening, and that's the Skerries and Wilbur Power Station behind Carmel Head, and there's no wind. I've pulled the mainsail down now. Going inside the Skerries. There's still some daylight, and the tide does change earlier, an hour earlier inside, so I'll get more of a benefit of the tide. There's still an hour of adverse tide here, so I've had to angle sort of obliquely to where I want to go, otherwise I'd have been going right into the tide. These tides going towards the Neeps now, they're not ideal to come from the northwest, because the second half of the day you've got the tide against you, so it'll work out right, and I might just get in before it goes absolutely dark. There's probably about 7-8 miles to go, something like that. Harry Furlong Rocks buoy, and the power station behind the old power station. Here's the bay I came into 10 PM yesterday evening, and it's called Argyll, and it was north-northwest wind, and you can see out there it's a bit choppy out there. It just makes the place uncomfortable though, because you get the seas curving around the headland over there, and quite rolly, and it's settled a bit though, and it's not too bad now. The other bay over there is Tayvalich, and that's a place I'm going to go later on, because the wind is going to go to northeast this afternoon and east, and very light winds, but it'll be a nice calm place to anchor there for a few days. White Lady Bay is called, Tayvalich in Welsh. Llanbadrig, the church up there, up the top there.